What is up, everybody? So, I was trying out this new Akaso Brave 7, a really budget GoPro knockoff. Maybe it's more of a knockoff of DJI's version by the looks of it, the Osmo. But I tried it out last weekend and I realized I think I accidentally had the stabilization turned off. And to me, that's like the most important feature of an action camera. Ever since GoPro got really good at stabilization, bad stabilization is almost impossible to watch. I think the last GoPro I owned that wasn't that good was the Hero 5. And now when I go back and watch those videos, they're tough to watch. So let's head to the gravel, give this camera another shot, and see if you could buy an action camera that does good enough for $170 if you're on a budget. FYI, I am shooting on the GoPro Hero 11 Black in 16:9, 4K 30, and that's not what I usually use, but that's what will match what the other camera can do. So I wanted to have a good comparison. The other camera does not do 24 frames a second in 4K, which is what I normally use, but that nuance isn't going to matter to people who buy a camera under $200. So yes, I'm hedging my bets again and using the GoPro at first, just because the audio on the other camera is going to be a wild card. So I want to make sure I got something. Did the same thing when I was riding with my friends on Saturday. So it's real windy, so this will be a good test of this action cam with the windscreen. So I will say the camera comes with pretty much everything you need, more than your typical GoPro kit. It's even got a windscreen, but all the little holders and mounts you could probably want. So yeah, the only thing it didn't have to get you started is a micro SD card, which I almost think is a smart move, because if you want to buy a really cheap one and keep everything budget, that's up to you. But if you want to buy a nice one, and if they would have put a nice memory card in the kit, then the budget factor would be gone. It also came with 2 batteries and a separate charger, which is a nice touch. One other thing worth mentioning is this camera did come with a remote. So if you're mounting it on your helmet or on the rear of your bike or somewhere, or anywhere out of reach, it could be useful. I'm not going to test all that out first. I just want to see if the image is worthwhile, because if it's shaky and garbly and you can't talk to the camera, then all the other little features it has don't matter at all. So we're going to switch over to that camera as we turn up on the Grab. So I'm kind of simulating if you actually had it attached to your bars, which all but the latest GoPros also kind of failed at. But now they can actually handle. So yeah, coming back and reviewing the footage from this little camera, it's usable. I did hold the camera against the bars, as I said in the video, and it jumps pretty bad. I'd say it jumps worse and gets shakier than the GoPro Hero 8. Which I think would be the main competition, because the GoPro Hero 8 is still, it's the oldest GoPro available on GoPro's website, and it's $20 more than this little guy. They're about the same size, but the thing to remember is the Akaso still uses one of these cages. If you have followed GoPro for a while, GoPro has gotten rid of the cages, and it's already waterproof, and the feet are just built in. That's one of the little, I guess, for someone who's used GoPros for a while, a little annoyance going back to one of these. If you've never had an action camera, which I think really is the market for something like this, you're a first timer, probably not going to be a big deal. Tried out the remote when I got back. Remote worked fine, easy to pair, worked flawlessly. Tried out the app, you could transfer files, you could do live view. Pretty easy, touchscreen on this, works well, fairly responsive. The menus are very simple, the buttons are very big, so very easy to navigate. I'd almost say the touchscreen works better than these did, but there's a lot more options when you go with an Hero 8. There's a lot more that you want to get in there and do. Yeah. So what would I say? Would I recommend this camera? It's hard to say. The fact that you can get the Hero 8 for 20 bucks more, doesn't have a front-facing screen, has a front-facing screen, doesn't come with a remote or a lot of the different attachments that this one comes with. My 8 was actually also fairly glitchy, but I've heard other people say theirs wasn't. Maybe all the firmware's been ironed out since I was using this guy. This is the current one I use. We're on the GoPro 11,
but again, we're looking at almost twice the cost, and I don't think that's a good comparison. I think this is really a camera for someone who has never had an action camera before and you just want to film some footage. I would also say it's probably not best for doing the gnarliest stuff. It just doesn't have the stabilization, but handheld and mouth held, I know that sounds weird, but I film my videos like this. Seems to do okay. So it's up to you. So yeah, let's finish this video showing footage that I filmed on Sunday from these two cameras. A little less from this, as I said, I forgot to turn the stave on. Didn't forget, I just wasn't familiar with the menus yet. But anyways, if you're curious about where I'm sitting, this is a new space I'm building out in the studio, and I'm going to be talking about it and have been talking about it all on the photography channel. So if you're interested in that, I'll leave a link below and in this card. Also, if you were here for the camera stuff that I used to post on this channel, that's where all that stuff now lives. All right, that's it. Enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you in the next one.